Hey y'all, we are back now. Hopefully people haven't tuned out on account of that. It did take me a few minutes, but I have high confidence the experience will be significantly improved. More so than just restarting my router, it actually turned out that one of the wires was loose in my switch box and it had my more reliable network disabled. So I pushed some things in, restarted the appropriate router, and it's fixed. Oh, Illusion! Don't be mean like that. You'll hurt my feelings. As Gandalf says, a wizard is never late. He always arrives precisely when he means to. I am not a wizard, but I am a Terra Mystica streamer. So, am I Gandalf? No, I am not Gandalf. I am not Batman. I may or may not be a witch, but I decline the label of wizard. Nonetheless, as the girl in charge here, I feel like Gandalf's saying does hold some sway. So, in other news, we've had to restart the queuing process, unfortunately, since I did have to briefly disable my network. But welcome, Neuron Collider. I don't believe I've seen or chatted with you before. I have no idea if you're still here, but shortly before the stream cut off, you were, and that's pretty neat. Thanks for letting me know that I was having network problems, by the way. I really appreciate you all coming in there. Okay, and already the queue's looking more promising, which may, in 2 minutes we've gotten an opponent versus needing over 20 to get one the first time and then getting stuck. So maybe this is an indication that the queuing problem was because I was, in fact, not really connected to BGA. Hopefully Evil Hamster returns. Maybe? We've had a variety of spicy opponents on this stream. I think on Thursday, the last Thursday's stream, this is the game in my VODs where I'm playing as engineers. We played against Goddamn BF, and that was pretty exciting. Very high-rated player, quite skilled, and he and I had a friendly chat after the game. And since then, he's tuned in a couple times. Hamsters are spicy. That is correct. We know what Goddamn BF stands for now. For anyone who cares to go watch that VOD, you can see. A hamster... Okay, well, Evil Hamster was metaphorically a spicy character. There's no doubt about that, as evil hamsters are wont to be. But, are hamsters in the abstract spicy? Not unless you are feeding them some, very punishing diet. Hurry up, Q. It's time for battle. Maybe it's not punishing to the hamster. Illusion, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think hamsters are built to deal with the spice. It's actually, there's really only two categories of animals that enjoy eating spicy food, and those are humans for somewhat unclear reasons, and birds don't really have any anxiety about eating spicy peppers. But in the bird's case, it's because they do not have the correct receptors in their mouth to actually experience the effect. So I think becoming a spicy pepper is a plant's evolutionary means of not being eaten except by the creature that is most reliably going to deposit the seeds farther away without mowing down the entire plant. But most animals really hate spicy stuff. In fact, in India, ghost peppers are actually used sometimes around the perimeter of farms because it keeps elephants from grazing on your crops. They do not even want to come near those things, never mind eat them. So, this has been quite a large scientific digression, but the point of all of this is if you are feeding your hamster spicy foods, you are punishing your hamster. Especially if you are feeding them spicy foods in the quantity that would cause them to become spicy themselves. Don't do that. That's animal cruelty. We don't support that on this stream. One more opponent. We're getting there finally. We won a race, then died the next day. Oh, sorry, I missed your chat above it. You had a hamster named Cornflake. That is a very cute name for a hamster. I approve. I'm sorry, he ran the race and then died. So you were his personal trainer. You helped him prep for the race. You know, I have to admit I have never heard of hamster racing as a sport. Based on how that turned out for Cornflake, I'm very sorry about your pet, but you know, based on the single data point, I would foster a guess that hamster racing is perhaps not a thing that they're cut out for. But maybe it works out alright. It's certainly kinder to the hamster than something like cockfighting. So, who did Cornflake race against? Did Cornflake have some contingent of compatriot hamsters? 5 losers. Okay, so Cornflake was really leading the pack here. Were people gambling on the outcomes, this like a horse race? If it was like a horse race, please tell me there were not jocks. You can argue about how kind it is to hamsters to have them race, but I'm quite certain that riding a hamster is not something that just don't do it. Oh, 5 other losers. Yes, okay, I missed that subtlety. So, I take it... Okay, so that means there were 7 hamsters racing in total. And, one of them won, and Cornflake and 5 others did not. Yes? I still don't have confirmation that they were all hamsters, but really it doesn't seem terribly fair otherwise. You know, we don't want to be living out real-life versions of the tortoise and the hamster fable, as it were. Oh, okay. Okay. I take your meaning now. I was a little confused, given the proclamation that Cornflake had won the race. Well, hats off to Cornflake. I'm very sorry that, that he met his end that way. But, you know, glad that he won. Because that's what we care about on this stream, is winning at games. and investing pointlessly large amounts of effort into winning at games. Hurry up, Q, sheesh. Let's see, actually now I'm becoming a little interested, thinking back on the previous game we played. What was the spread of outcomes favored to be like in that battle? And for once, these stats we don't have to have the asterisk qualifier on them anymore, because that game was played in a casual mode in which there were no faction landscapes, which is the same environment from which these statistics were drawn. So that game had chaos magicians and witches and darklings and who was our and nomads. And because there was no bidding, these were just standard point assignment, which is incredibly unfair. The compensations are nowhere near the right average values. So darklings started back 5 points from the rest of us, who were all at 20. And it looks like, as I would have predicted, under these circumstances, we were in fact favored to lose. So that sucks. Hey there, Deluxe. Nice to see you back. No, we have not gotten a matchup yet, but we have fixed some network problems, so optimistic we could have one soon. Illusion, that is an option. I cannot stop you if you choose to do that. On the other hand, I may choose to focus my commentary particularly heavily on what I intend to do, just to spite you, so that you will be left to your own devices figuring that part out. Also, if it happened, it would not be the first time that I battled one of my viewers on stream. Actually, there's a stream of me playing against Deluxe. You can go back on the account and watch. It's one of my engineers games, if I believe. No, perhaps not. I know that Deluxe was playing as the Nomads in that match. A little tricky to remember my own race. I think it was the Engineers. It's not the most recent Engineers game, though. Not very good at Terra Mystica. There is a proven way to get better, and that would be playing it. Not that you should feel any heat to do that. Certainly sounds like you're plenty good at a lot of games. Especially if you're winning most of your Terraforming Mars games, only playing on average once a year. I think that's a particularly impressive feat. Okay, 4 out of 5 is, that actually makes it more impressive. To be clear, I was not claiming that you had a 100% win rate under these circumstances, just that you would win with any kind of frequency at all when you only play once a year is pretty impressive to me. 4 out of 5 means there's some real sample size behind it, so you're cleaning up as far as I'm concerned. I cannot confirm this possibility. It certainly sounds plausible that they do. Sheesh. It's really frustrating that you can't be in the queue for Arena at the same time that you're checking on the status of casual tables. Very, very frustrating. So we can't know how much time we're wasting getting into game on this. Don't even have 100 ELO. Well, that just means you never play, right? You can't even lose often enough to not get to 100 ELO because BGA uses a somewhat weird version where you start at 0 ELO but are incapable of ever losing rank until you pass 100, and then you can only lose back down to 100. Which is this just messes with like aggregate and average ELO stats to have it be this way. It's very pointless to implement it this way. Like, grow up already. People understand what negative numbers are. So it is okay to implement proper ELO and have it go down. And if you think negative numbers are too scary and complicated for your Terra Mystica crowd, which is a very sketchy claim, then even in that world, you just pick a higher starting number. You know, start at 1,000, so that people who suck and lose a lot can drop down to 700 or what have you. There's no reason to have any interval where you are incapable of losing rank. Because then you can't really call it ELO. At that point, it's just experience points. Hurry up! This is not cooperating. And it's increasingly where there's a fear here that that we're stuck in one of those BGA bins where it's just not putting new queuers onto your table anymore. Where it's only pretending that we're live and in the queue. So I may have to kill this off and then just look at the casual matches that are available. Which is deeply unfortunate, but I think it's time to do that because this has been going on for way too long with no results. Alright. Oh goodness. There aren't even any tables live. Well, that's pretty unfortunate. I know sometimes I get filtered out from being able to play on people's tables because they set a maximum ELO that they want joining. So that can be a little bit of a hassle when people want to play inside their hug box and not allow good players. Who plays board games on a Monday? I do. Sensible people do. Oh my goodness, we re-queued and in we go. Okay, this is awesome. We have a game. Let's take a look at the starting conditions. So right off the bat, no spade scoring in any round. Stronghold and Sanctuary comes early, Temple on 3, and Dwelling spamming after that. Okay, so that's a distribution of round scoring objectives. That's kind of the natural progression that would get hit by the Darklings anyhow. So that's a little bit lame that whenever your board is naturally Darkling-centric. We don't need any more incentive to have Darklings in all our games than we already do. We also have the Priest bonus card as another Darkling's favorite. Okay, so other cards available here. We do have the plus shipping card, which is a thing that's good for taking advantage of Dwelling Rush openings if you want to play a green faction or the Mermaids, but I don't think we want to do that. I don't think we want to do that because there are 2 rounds of dwelling scoring in the late game. The last thing we want is putting all our dwellings right at the start. We want to make sure we can at least get some moderate points on these because most factions are going to score a lot of points on these objectives. A lot. So we're probably not too interested in taking that route. That said, even if that's not the opening that we play, we can still be very happy to play with the Mermaids. Oh, well, they're already in the pool. The rationale on that is just that the infamous Mermaid scoring bonus tile is in, as well as all the money help that they could want in bonus cards. But outside of this shipping bonus card, there's only the 2 opportunities for scoring bonuses. And the trading post one is the one that almost every faction is the least able to utilize. So I think we're that kind of bodes in favor of factions that have some innate scoring mechanics. Just because you can't produce as many points through these. Again, that would make the Darklings super duper strong on this board. We very well could just grab at the Darklings here, and obviously there's going to be a lot of contest if we put the Darklings in the pool. Maybe we're more enthusiastic about just dumping in Alchemists, making sure no one can do that with Darklings, and you know, I'm always happy to play with Alchemists. It's definitely one of my better races, so I could probably take them at a favorable point value compared to other people. They really don't look particularly strong on this board. I wouldn't be interested in playing them. Usually Alchemists, since they can spend their score and aren't limited by money, they're looking to get as many workers down as early as they can. And there's no spade combo scoring from them upgrading digs. And all the dwelling placement scoring happens late, whereas they kind of need to get theirs out fast. So, maybe we are content to toss in Darklings and see what comes of it. Also, someone may well do that for us. Or we could give some thought to another faction that I just play reasonably well in the abstract, like Engineers. Oh, Neuron Collider, don't be like that, please. Please. I did that last stream. I can't put myself through it again. It hurts too much. Okay, if we play with the Engineers, where would we be interested in starting? At position 2, probably we can't have this bonus tile. And none of the other plus worker bonus tiles are available, which is where they would want to be. This may actually be a little bit of a rough road for them. You know, I'm really not seeing anything that looks nearly so good as Darklings, so I think what I'm gonna do is toss Darklings into the pool, lame as that may be, and then just gamble on other people not understanding that they're even considerably stronger on this layout than they usually are. So hopefully other people will not be willing to bid them at the silly extremes that they're worth on this board. And so we can win the Darklings at some steal price of, you know, only 12 points less than the other factions, or some such thing. I would consider that definitely a steal on this board. It'll be interesting to see what else pops in here. Okay. Well, we're gonna be waiting for a little bit on fourth chair to choose because we just got a BRB toilet. But when you gotta go, you gotta go. Neuron Collider, are you also a Chaos Magician's lover, just like Kator, or do you have a different favorite race in this? Okay, Nomads, an interesting pick here. You know, they tend to be very happy to open with their stronghold on round 1, so they can collect this scoring unlike a lot of factions. And then another big point in their favor is that Nomads and Mermaids have a tendency to prop each other up because they have a very different sets of tiles they're interested in on the western portion of the map. And but so they can coexist next to each other and absorb lots of power from each other without actually getting in each other's way. It's sort of a symbiotic relationship between the two colors. But it exists a little more strongly with Nomads and Mermaids than with the opposite face cards. It's still there for Swarmlings and Fakirs, though. You know nothing. Would you like me to explain the rules of this game for you? I would be happy to do that. Though I imagine you know somewhat if you already came in knowing the meme about the Chaos Magicians. It's definitely the people's choice. Oof. Okay, so let's go check up the races that are listed here in the stats and see how this distribution pans out. So these are expectation scores for the factions using the following weighting. First place gets a 6, second gets a third, and third gets 1, and fourth gets 0. And these are the expected results across all the games that came with these 3 factions. Assuming they all came at equal starting point values on the auction, which of course they didn't. So highlighting right here, these are the 3 races that are actually in this. The others are just if we wind up checking them as our 4th. So not too surprising that engineers are at the top here. Okay, Illusion. This is there's a website made by Juho Snellman that people played Terra Mystica on before it was available on Board Game Arena. And they had lots and lots of tournaments, and the stats come from that. So this is just one of the pages there. If you want a link, I'm about to type it in chat for you right now. And it sounds like we just had the last faction choice. Okay, there you go, in chat, the link for anyone who wants to follow around and tinker with these stats themselves. And our 4th was the Engineers. So this is a super infamous 4-way matchup. Super duper infamous because back in the Snellman era, it was considered the most balanced matchup of races, just in the abstract case, over, averaged over all the possible setups. And they're all popular factions because they're all reasonably strong. Now, stats are suggesting here that Engineers are the best, and in the abstract that is actually true in this matchup. They outperform slightly because the Darklings get starved off on power in the opening, typically, in this matchup. But I'm not very interested in the Engineers because this setup is unusually good for the Darklings and unusually bad for the Engineers. They will never get their Stronghold or their Sanctuary in the first 2 rounds, They're not very gung-ho about building temples past the first turn. Yeah, it's really just not a super wonderful state for them. I suppose they're decently situated to capitalize on dwelling scoring late, though. Yeah, okay, we expect Darklings to come down even farther. So I can bias the point numbers here by those point offsets, and at these point offsets, on average, Darklings are actually now doing the worst. Oh, and Darklings went down yet another point. But like I said, I think this is an unusually good layout for the Darklings. Happy to keep bidding them down here. Yes, that's correct, Neuron Collider. Tournaments still happen on Snellman regularly. If you play on Snellman, be prepared for a slightly clunkier UI than this one. But it's very serviceable. Probably my biggest gripe about playing there is they do not have the special faction landscapes coded in, which is a little bit of a shame. Those add a lot to the game, I think. In this matchup, the Darklings is certainly the least interesting of the four of them. And the one that's leaned on the most hard of these four is certainly the Mermaids Coral Reef. I would get Chaos Magicians for 30 victory points. That is correct. I would, if Chaos Magicians were present here. Okay, someone's jumping off on the Nomads. That's a little surprising to me. I think the Mermaids are probably second best situated in this setup, just because they have the money cards they want, and also they have their favorite scoring card, the points per rank of shipping. I know that the Mermaids are not super well set up to build either of these structures in the first two rounds. Like, the round scoring objectives aren't wonderful for Mermaid, though they will be super reliable at scoring Triple Town on the 6th round. Okay, I got bid down even further on Darklings. Interesting take. Now, I know what I said when I was picking a faction that I'd be happy to take Darklings like 12 points ahead of other people. So when I said that, I was not necessarily envisioning every single faction here just being the strongest ones. I thought people might throw in a little more tricksy ones. So that's not how this has gone down. Let's see. I should be able to get this priest starting tile if I play Darklings, which means I will be looking to this power action here in order to gain access to two dwellings after building my temple on round 1. Will this power action hang around for me is the question. I think it probably should. The Mermaids will be interested in the dig actions, as well as the Nomads. Yeah, really, the Engineers are the only other faction that might try to cut this away. And even they would be more interested in a dig, except they'll get to start with this Spade card. That does beget very good openings out of the Engineers if they start with this Spade. Then they only have to produce an extra coin and an extra worker, and they can open on 2 temples plus a dwelling as kind of the dream Engineer thing to go with. Yeah, Mermaids, Illusion, I know you want me to do it. I know they're your favorites. This is really tough. Honestly, I think it's quite close here 3 ways. The one that I'm not giving any thought to at all is the Nomads. I'm not interested in playing that at this juncture. If we open double temple, what favors would we get with the Engineers? Probably be interested in... well, we may not have access to... No, we would have access to Earth 1 because Nomads will open with their stronghold on these round scorings. So maybe ability to take Earth 1 in this last position is actually worth it, and we can bid the Engineers down 1 point. Because we know we can start with this Spade. Okay, I have immediately been ousted. I got, if nothing else, I got the engineer's bid a little bit lower. Is first turn order based on lowest bid? No, it is not. The first turn order is just based on the order they got tossed into the auction. So regardless of how the bidding happens, whoever takes these, Mermaids will be first player, then Darklings, then Nomads, and Engineers will be last. And that is why Engineers will get their top pick of bonus tile. They get to choose first in that regard. I think I'm content to... Do I actually want to move this down? See, it's a little dicey without these round scoring objectives and knowing I won't hit too many of these with the Mermaids. It's plausible here that... No, really, I'm not that excited by the Mermaids. I'm sorry. I think we're going to go one further on Darklings. I do predict this is going to be a little bit of a low-scoring game, just because we don't have bonus tiles that are scoring points for that many people that often. And many of these round objectives are sort of hard to spam in multitudes. The Darkling's innate scoring ability will shine even more than it usually does. Obviously, it's always quite strong. But, you know, we're gonna come at it with full value here. Okay, we're making this player think. That's something, that they at least think this is close. I'm obviously not really going by what these statistics say anymore, because the current state looks something like, let's see, where are the engineers in this? The current bidding state looks like this, in which the engineers are posted as wildly favored and Darklings as very not favored. But I really don't think that's true on these round scorings. The engineers are just not well situated to capitalize on any of this, except the dwelling scoring in 4 and 5, where lots of people can rake in the points. Illusion, you are correct. Engineers are generally interested in getting their temples out fast. So the reason that that's true is that the engineers have a screwy income printed for this second temple. Instead of another priest, they get 5 power income. And that works out to being very strong for kind of launching yourself going with these power actions. It's worth noting with the engineers that power is even more valuable than for other races, because they have all their incomes decreased, and also their prices decreased to go along with it. So everything's cheaper, except power exchange rates are still the same. So, you know, the same amount of power produces sort of proportionally more worth of resources for them. So where are we interested in going? Probably still the Darklings. Well, I'll go 1 more point on that. I really think they're looking quite strong here. Hopefully we win it at 17, and other people get bid down a little bit on these. I wouldn't expect Nomads to come down, but Engineers might come down another couple points before someone jumps on Mermaids. Really kind of crazy that no one's interested in this. The Mermaids are definitely a 2nd or 3rd best faction in the abstract, so a lot of people like playing them. And we maybe get nearing the threshold where we are happy to play Mermaids if we get bid down even further on this. You jump on the Mermaids and, you know, we should be able to found 3 towns in round 6 if nothing else. Oh my goodness, Darkling's coming down more. Okay, So the problem is, the Mermaids not gonna get tons and tons of points off of these. Except through this. What bonus tiles would come to us if we played Mermaids? So we wouldn't want the shipping start, just because we're not interested in throwing all our dwellings down early. We have to save them for rounds 4 and 5. So we can expect the spade to disappear to the engineers. Darklings will want this priest start. So if we are applying mermaids, the likely course of action is that we get a temple plus 2 dwellings on round 1, and we wind up clinching one of these 2 cards that gives us money. Now what I could actually be interested in doing here, since nomads I think are going to go with the stronghold start in order to reap this bonus because they have a very good stronghold start. That means that there's going to be a notable gap to pick up the 3rd copy of the Earth 1 favor. So I could actually open on a Fire 1 favor, which is a huge boon to mermaids in general. They need the money more desperately than any other faction. And then take this as my starting favor and boost myself the other rank on Fire, so that I receive 1 copy of this income and have I'll have a lot of coins left moving into round 2. And with some coin income. And then the idea would be to build my sanctuary on round 2 and procure the last Earth 1 favor before nomads can get a copy. So actually, I think that's acceptable. We can get a lot done with a Fire 1 favor and an Earth 1 favor. We'll sign on Mermaids for 30 here, and hopefully we won't disappoint Illusion. Though, 4 players surrounded your first building, so that doesn't necessarily have to be terrible for you, right? If you got surrounded, then that at least that means you got a lot of power absorption on the first move. Very cool you picked engineers. I'm a fan. So our typical starting places we would want here and here, or here and here. We'll just take this one now because we know we want it. Definitely the engineers are starting out here, and we just want the handle into some kind of town here. Yeah, that seems fine. Nomads may even start here and complete a power leech triangle for us. It's possible. The reason we're going to wait on this is that this spot is actually magically unattractive to us if the Darklings decide to cut this tile away. They don't often do that, but if they do that, we suddenly don't care about this anymore. Then we'll, if we can grab up here, then we'll look to form a town here, one over in this region, and one up in the upper right. If they cut this away, we're going to have to change that to town here, and down here, and then one in the upper right, which takes a little bit more digging, but not a lot more digging. We can make it happen. Well, glad it's going very well for you, Illusion. You say I'm the best. I don't disagree. But that's very sweet of you nonetheless. Alright, so, okay, we're still waiting on Darklings in second chair to place a starting dwelling. But they'll have to place both of their dwellings because of the snake order placement before we place our last one. So we'll know the full grid, and know whether we should take this spot or not before we have to make the call. I do expect, it seems pretty likely that this bonus card will be available to us. It's a little bit of a mystery what's gonna get chosen by the nomads. Super strongly expect Darklings to take the priest card and engineers to take the spade one. But hard to say where nomads might choose to go in this. Would not be crazy for them to take the trading post card with the extra worker. They could even pass on it for 2 points and just end with a trading post. Nomads start with more dwelling income than all the other races because they start with 3 dwellings down. So it's actually kind of reasonable for them to have Stronghold plus trading post. If they took that route, then that's a little bit of a scare because we need to pass before them. We really want to procure that Earth 1 favor. It's extremely high value for the mermaids. Obviously, it's great for everyone. but statistically it is even more crucial for mermaids than any other faction. It's actually not crucial is too strong. Most factions are happy to play without if they know what they're doing. This is just not so much an overpowered favor as it is just never a bad one for anyone. You're getting the double temple start. That's cool. Okay, let's wait and see where that dwelling comes down from the Darklings. If it's right here, then I'm gonna... Or if it's here, I'll start there. If it's anywhere else, I'm probably gonna start on this one. Actually, if they put it on either one of these, I may start here. Just because opening up here, it again puts me in a power sandwich. I can hope to absorb even more. Because we are the first player, we can hopefully get a typically large amount of power leech. Just because we are the first one who gets to upgrade to a temple. We also get first pass at power actions. So, okay, they did the start over here. This is one of a couple classic placement configurations for this matchup. And when people take it, it tends to result in the Darklings getting starved for power a bit more, and the engineers getting a kind of a surplus of power, which was reflected in the stats that you saw. So I want one of these. I can take either one. I think this, the Nomads, if they open on Stronghold, can sandstorm away either one of these, and that's a little annoying that they can do that, because it cuts off easy connection through here. So it may be wise to start on this one, but that doesn't get me anywhere with one shipping unless I... If I don't get access to the double dig, then I'm only... no, okay, I guess with the single dig I still have placements for 2 additional dwellings. So that does work out okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take this one as the safer option, just because we don't want to lose connection to this side of the map. If the Nomads open Stronghold, they can sandstorm to cut us off very quickly. Do engineers tend to upgrade digging fast? No. Engineers are the actual, like, literal worst faction for upgrading digging capabilities. Okay, if Nomads are starting over here, that's actually going to make an annoying power triangle this way. And we're going to wind up being the power-starved one, and we hate that. This sucks. Not going to be a happy setup for us. But there wasn't much we could do about it. We really don't have a realistic option to start on this tile. So the reason the engineers are the worst at upgrading digging is the effect I talked about before, where they have all their prices reduced and also all of their incomes reduced. It's vaguely proportionally-ish. So the reason that creates this effect is that their digging upgrade price is actually not changed at all. So relative to their income, they're just paying way more than any other faction to upgrade their digging, like 1.5 times more. So, yeah, and also engineers, you know, they can just roll with a power economy and take these actions more often. So, so it's sort of, they have a good replacement, and the normal option is just abysmally overpriced for them. So, would not recommend upgrading your digs with engineers ever. Snellman tournament data has, I believe, I think it's 7 games where engineers upgraded their digging, and that's 7 out of like 10,000. So there's a stat for you. And I think all 7 of those were upgrading digging in round 5 or 6 towards the end of the game, just to try and, you know, they're just just to take points from it. Okay, this got cut away from us because the nomads went and cut the priest, which holds the darklings back, so that's something. We're okay with the darklings being held back. What's the best from us of what remains? Well, we're not going to be upgrading shipping in round 1. We don't have to try and score this tile yet, so we'll just take a big influx of money. Even if it's not a thing we need for round 1, we are going to need money all day, every day, for like every other round. We're going to wish we had way more than we do. Now, I get to move first. Engineers will surely upgrade this one because they know they're going to get power in from the darklings doing that. And the nomads may choose this in preference, but maybe not. Maybe they'll choose here. It's really unfortunate, but we're probably just not going to get any power leech due to people taking this weird placement, like the nomads cutting over here as well. It's really a very, like, darklings favored way for them to do it. So I'm glad the darklings at least got screwed out of the bonus card they'd want. Let's just go ahead and upgrade this just in case. Oh no, actually, let's not do that. The reason we're not going to do that is if we upgrade this one instead, then that sets us up a little better for building 3 towns if we only need 3 spaces in this one, because whatever we get, the temple we get is going to need to turn into a sanctuary on round 2. So I don't think we're getting power either way, so it's just going to have to be this way. Because we're taking a favor that no one else is interested in, or at least we will be if the nomads open with Stronghold. We can afford to cut this away as our next move because we're not going to miss out on an Earth 1 favor that we wouldn't otherwise have gotten. It's a little dangerous if everyone upgrades TP here, because if that happens, then we could get cut away on an Earth 1 favor, but that would mean nomads aren't scoring this, and, you know, as mentioned, we can make good use of the Fire 1 favor too. I should say the Fire 1 favor also, to avoid confusion with the numeral 2. Yep, as predicted, lots of power, none for us. We may actually get more power having upgraded here than here, because the engineers have the spade bonus tile, and there's only, like, the most likely place they would spade is actually this one right here. Because then a single shipping gap lets them build 2 dwellings. Oh goodness! Thank you, engineers. That's really wonderful. We are super happy to get that. So now at this point we have to decide, do we want to commit to the Fire 1 line, even knowing we won't reap this cult reward here? I mean, maybe we could if we pull a priest out with power. If that winds up happening, we can invest it on the Fire cult along with the Fire 1 favor, and then we would have 2 workers coming out in income. And that would, I would set us up really well for a long game. I think it's maybe okay for us to go ahead and assume, even if we pull the priest right now, we can't be assured of getting this, because the nomads have opted to start with a priest. And, you know, where else are they going to put it? They already have rank 1 on the Fire cult, just from their starting favoritisms, and so of course they'll choose this to score. So we're going to get cut off from having access to priest in this slot, no matter what. That said, Fire 1 is still a super powerful favor, and maybe that's just where we want to be. Now, what I don't want to do is lose access to this, but and the engineers will be able to take it away from us if they want to. They probably don't want to. They already have a spade for the round, and they need to come up with enough workers to get their strong start. So, oh, I guess we can't jump the gun on this now anyway. We're short power. This is definitely what we would want, though. We're just gonna need these double digs and this as often as we can get them throughout the game. And given the bonus tile we started on, we're not interested in this yet. So it's down to taking one of these two. And it's quite possible that both will be gone at our next turn. You don't remember. Can you build across a bridge without shipping? Yes, you can. If you build a bridge to nowhere, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take the temple here. And we are gonna go ahead and gamble a little and start with this fire one. Definitely some gambling going on here. I don't know that we can secure Earth 1 in the next round, but if we pass fast enough, then we'll be able to take it first thing in the next round with our sanctuary construction. And then we'll have secured both the favors we want in the order we want, and things will look really good. Be careful doing that, Illusion. If you dunk down a bridge to nowhere and then without having something on the other side, that is a big target on your back. You know, definitely people would want to cut that away if they can. Alright, so how did this go down? Next to act was the Darklings who cut away the workers. Okay. So fortunately for us, unless they can get this priest power action, which it's looking like they can't, they will not be able to, So, unless they can take this priest power action, the Darklings are going to be stuck at one dwelling past the first temple. So that's pretty nice for us. Also nice that the Nomads lack the power to take a double dig action. Unfortunately, they could take single dig, and then the Engineers will cut double dig. We also may... There is a real worry that we miss on Earth 1 here. Just because the Nomads, now that this power action is cut, which they would have wanted to take it right then if they could, it puts them in a hard spot. Because if they've finished the stronghold now to receive this scoring, then they won't have any workers left. So they're just going to have to use their starting priest as a worker, and even just to put down the dwelling that comes with the free terraform. It's really not an ideal situation from their perspective. So they're in a tight spot no matter what, even if they build the temple here. Okay, they did take single dig. So them taking single dig is, well, there's a worry that we won't get to do any digging this round. We could really be in a bad spot if the Engineers go for double dig. And it's possible they could. They may... Probably a good move for them is to double dig and construct the bridge tower. Is that right? Then they will be unable to make the good Engineers start. Unless they had used power through inefficient conversions. So they're upgrading in both places just to receive the most power that they can. unfortunately, we still can't take this. It's just not an option to us. And so our only choice is, let's see, we can't even get up to 4 workers to make this a thing. Yeah, definitely a tactical error not to take this on the last move, because I had envisioned the case where we lose access to the single dig, but not where we lost access to the single dig, and we didn't also have a temple construction here to leech to take the double. But I guess that's another way this line can fail, and now we are in trouble. So where do we want to go? We can't dig anywhere the hard way. And we're just going to have terrible, terrible incomes for the next round. Outside of tons of money. So I think the only way we can try to make a better situation of this would be to pass here. And we'll pass and grab this card. And that's awful. Just abysmal. But we can't do any better for ourselves. Really a big mistake not to take this. If I had taken it, then I could have built 2 dwellings here. Which, you know, just pays back the workers immediately. So then we would have been able to upgrade Sanctuary and still do other stuff for the round, but as it stands, we can't even do that. So what favors are going to disappear away from us? Let's find out. We may lose access to all the favors we need on top of losing access to, well, doing anything, really. This, like, almost basically time walks us out of a full turn. So priest to advanced shipping wasn't good enough. That's correct. I don't think it is good enough. The reason that I'm not interested in doing that is that I don't actually, like, I'll still be able to do that the next round if I really want. And even if I do prefer to not have to compete in that regard the next round, there's a worry that, okay, let me see if I can well articulate the problem here. I don't, it's not, yeah, it's not doing anything for me immediately, and also it reduces the chances I can take this to not pass quickly. And in the round after, I would still rather just have the power available to snap off double dig action. Prepares for level 3 shipping in the next round. No, I could still get level 3 shipping in the next round if I wanna. All I have to do is drop this priest right then. I mean, either way, this is such an unbelievably terrible opener that I don't, it's like unconscionably bad. I really had no excuse not taking this. I needed to single dig right there and dig this slot so that I could build 2 workers in here. And now I'm just gonna find that I'm short resources the actual entire game. Right, because if I upgrade Sanctuary here, it doesn't even get me out of the problem. Upgrading Sanctuary is like, it takes all my workers, you know? So, I know that this is super early to be calling a game, but like, it actually already seems fair to say we've lost. That was just such a costly effect. And other people still have a lot more to do. Thankfully for us, the Nomads are not having a rockin' start. And the Darklings are having at least less than their full rockingness. Kind of weird that the Engineers went this direction rather than coming up. Bad karma for... No, this would be going worse if I'd taken the Chaos Magicians. Trust me. Trust me, this is not good. So with the Chaos Magicians, we would want to start with the Sanctuary on round 1. But we don't have access to the number 6 bonus tile, the one that grants 2 workers and spores for strongholds and sanctuaries. So that means we would be critically reliant on this power action, and then even still on top of that, we would need to produce some extra coins to get the sanctuary on round 1. And we would have to do it without, this spade tile or something. We would be looking at, like, just taking 6 money or 4 money in a cult step. Okay, so Nomads, predictably, being shut out of their, getting shut completely out of the stronghold opener, they just went for a temple. So now they're just going to cut the earth 1 favor. And that means that we won't get one, and that's going to be really, really sad. Instead of getting everything that we wanted in this opener, we're going to get nothing. Actual nothing. Okay, the engineers are going to, they'll be upgrading one of these into a temple, and then they're going to proceed to build here. Then they'll use the inefficient sort of power conversions to produce another worker and upgrade the other one into a temple. Except still, in all that, they're actually short money. Maybe they can't do all this. That costs a sum total of 9 money. They can definitely make that happen. Never mind, they have the power through inefficient conversions to do all of it right now. Meanwhile, we should be able to absorb 2 more power here. This is so disastrous. I don't know any way we can avoid making a mess of this. So I guess the one argument we can make is that since we're not getting this favor, maybe we just don't have to build the sanctuary on this round, and that saves us out a lot of hassle. Right, we were worried about building it because we wanted to snap past this round then take that, but now we can't even make that happen. Okay, actually this is very interesting. He built the dwelling here as his next move, and the reason that's interesting is that if this guy was thinking at all, if he were going to take the Earth 1 favor, he would upgrade the temple first and then build it. It's just 2 more points. But he didn't do that. So that suggests to me that he's actually not interested in taking this. Because if he is interested in taking this, he just made a strict misplay. There's no benefit to doing this the way he did. It only costs him 2 points. So maybe we'll still get it. Which means there is hope for us yet when we upgrade Sanctuary. For us to procure this thing that we want very badly. It is truly embarrassing that we don't have those dwellings. Then we would still spend our entire dwelling supply on round 2 because we wouldn't have them banked and we'd just spend the 4 income. But that means we'd have 4 dwelling supply on round 3, whereas now we're just going to have 2. And that is awful. Awful, awful, awful. Okay, Nomads have passed on to the money card. Not a big shocker. We will be upgrading our shipping on top of building the Sanctuary just because it scores points on this card, and we need 2 shipping anyway, because the next site we would want to dig is like up here, and then we can build all 3 of these after a single dig. This is assuming this doesn't get cut away from us, but it probably won't. Okay, engineers are taking a very bizarre line here. They're actually going for 0 temples, it would seem. That's the only... yes. Or they can still get 1 temple, but then they can't build any of these spots they just dug for themselves. also, if they were getting a temple and taking the Earth 1 favor, they would 100%, you know, then they would have missed out on 6 points, or 4 points, or whatever it is. Okay, so they have built here. Yeah, they're definitely not taking the favor, and we are not going to give them another chance. So that's like a very small reprieve in this, but not really. It's pretty fake. We're just going to have to hope that us being the only ones who have a good income favor working for us is somehow going to carry us through on this. Yeah, we'll have to skip out on building a temple on round 3, which is where what we would be doing there if we had not flubbed this opening and gotten these 2 dwellings down. So we would build the temple, which would score 4 points and give us this water favor, which would be wonderful. And then we would proceed to dwelling spam. But now we're just going to need to build 2 dwellings here to even have enough workers to try to dwelling spam, which is sort of embarrassing. Okay, so what can we do here? I definitely think we do not give the engineers a chance at having the Earth 1 favor. We're just going to upgrade right here, right now. And there we go. We have it. Huzzah! One slight edge working in our favor. Now, So what do we do next? It's very dependent on what power actions are available coming around to us. So we definitely need to be gaining all the income of dwellings, or worker income from dwellings that we can to catch up for the huge flub on turn 1. Now, we do actually have the guaranteed ability to construct a dwelling here. There's no interference that can stop us, because we know we're upgrading shipping this turn. We have the resources for it in hand and no one can block that, and we definitely want to do it on the card that we're scoring on. So we'll upgrade our shipping, and then once we do, we can just use inefficient power conversions to make a worker from this and build here. But we can maybe do better than that. We can gain 2 workers by taking this power action. And that might be what we're interested in doing when the turn comes back to us. We could alternatively, let's look at what other people's power states are. So this double dig is not going away. There's no chance that other people procure enough power this turn to use it. So given that we are the only one who stands to be able to use it, what we could do is wait on the double dig. We won't be able to take both of these, unfortunately. I only have 7 power that I can work out of this configuration, and I would need 10. So that requires leeching. I know the numbers don't quite add up on this, but this is going to be correct. It's due to the way the power leeching works. If we want to get 10, we're going to have to absorb, 6 more power? Then we'll have 8 here, 4 here, yeah, okay, 6 more. So, okay, well, that was cut away from us. So now we know we're getting a worker the inefficient way. That means that any power we have left is just useful for digging. Who has power to contest our digging? The Nomads could try it. Where would we dig if we wanted to dig? So if I took this right now, I would be unable to construct anything, and that's a disaster. So maybe I do need to take this. It's a possibility, but the spot we would really want to dig is up here. And it might be worth gambling on having the action still available to us when it comes back, I know this burned us incredibly bad on the first turn. It was not a good gamble on expected value. We know we can have this when it comes back if we upgrade shipping first, which doesn't let us build dwellings, but it at least lets us take the most critical dig points so that no one can cut away our stuff. I suppose I'm inclined to upgrade shipping first and just see, because we know we'll get the dig. We just may not get the worker construction, or the dwelling construction on top of that. So, up we go on shipping. And let's pray. Praying hard. Please, nomads, do not single dig here with your power. What else would you even do? I suppose if you sped to a stronghold, you could play a terraform action instead, and then still build a dwelling. And that is actually the line you should desire to take. It's definitely the highest point line, so it makes a lot of sense they wouldn't dig. And that means that we are let to take this, and even burning one power token less, which is good, because we're going to need our power tokens to stick around later to continue to take these. Okay, Darklings took the same pair of favors as us. Makes sense. They're a little less money dependent than we are. But, Okay, actually, let's think this through. We do not have access to our 7 power. But we can, or do we? So we have 3 here and 4 in this bowl. If we're willing to burn 4 power tokens, which we should be, we still have all 12, then we can get a worker here in time to produce a little bit of income. And that prevents the nomads from sandstorming this away from us, which is really valuable, because we'll still be able to form a town up in this segment, even if they take that, as long as we have this one, just because we will have these 3, and hopefully we can, like, dig this for 2 or something. It should work out for us. We do need to be careful about losing this one as well, but unfortunately we only have time for single digging right now. Okay. Let's go ahead and make that happen. Okay, we are up there. Huzzah. Unfortunately, we're not going to have the power left to make the next dig for a little bit. But we don't need a ton of digs this game, given how things have panned out. It'll suck if this is cut from us. It'll suck even more if that gets cut later. It'll create we can still construct the town on these 3, but it takes an extra dig. This is nice because it also, taking this one here means we can gain an extra power when the nomads upgrade their stronghold here in the next move. Alright, so where are we headed next? We really have to pass out. There's no alternatives on that, just because we have no actions left we could conceivably take. So what bonus card are we interested in? That seems very straightforwardly the Spade plus 2 money card, and thankfully other people still have things to do, so we probably get that card. And that means that we can take our 3 dwelling income next round, and we could definitely do something like dwelling, dig and build dwelling, and then dwelling on one of the other water spaces we can ship to with no troubles. Okay, who just took power action for a priest? Somewhat interestingly, that was the nomads. So the nomads are definitely grinding hard to milk this cult reward, and that's a thing we're not going to get to do. We're only going to milk it for 2, because we'll invest one of our priests the next round. presumably in the water cult, I think it's going to be higher value to get a priest on round 4 than it will be to procure power on round 5. This comes at a point where people have milled over so many of their power tokens that they just can't accept this power easily. And it also helps that we started at rank 2 on the water cult, so we will immediately promote up to rank 4 where we receive the priest. So we know what we're doing with our priest next round. Very shocking that the Darklings would pass on and not choose the spade, but I suppose Darklings do get spades every... No, it makes sense for the Darklings. They've already constructed their sanctuary, so they are garnering 2 spades a turn, effectively, through priests. As bad as our situation looks, if you take a look at this right here, we're actually just in better shape than the Darklings. It's our turn again, we got nothing to do, so let us pass. We take 6 points on pass, and we will happily procure this spade. So, really nifty here that we're just so far ahead of the Darklings points-wise. Almost 30 points. It's 28. Almost 30. And we have the same favors as them. Same incomes as them, except they're getting 1 extra priest a turn, which is... oh, yes. They're going to be getting the extra priest every turn, whereas we're a work ahead of them. And I know they score points through use of their priests, but even still, this is wonderful given the point lead. So very happy about how that's gone. Just the really big worry is that the Nomads now have the ability to use their free terraforms from Stronghold, and that gives them a lot of ability to cut away what we want here. They may well just take this right now, which that'll be sad times if it happens, but there's not much we can do about that. Should still manage to triple town in round 6 regardless, just because of the Coral Reef gives us a large amount of flexibility. For anyone watching who has not played with the expansion's special faction landscapes, it gives every faction an additional structure that only they can build, and they only get 1 copy of it to build. And ours, the Coral Reef, is unusually strong among factions. So all it is a rank 1 building, rank 1 for purposes of power leeching and construction of towns, but we can put it on top of the water. In fact, we can only put it on top of the water. And so this lets us get some really spicy town geometry, things that look like they should never be made to link adjacently and count as towns between our passive, which lets us skip over a water space for town construction, and the Coral Reef. We're just going to be able to form some wild-shaped towns here. And we're going to work that hard to our advantage and hope that it means we don't have to dig very much. So we are a little bit under attack from the engineers who have started jumping down this direction. I'm not overly worried about it yet because they don't have the terraforms to take away the few spaces we care about in here. And now that they've passed, they've lost their 1 shipping from a bonus card, which means that they can't come off this spot except by terraforming this the hard way. And this is a triple terraform for engineers, so we have some time to take what we care about here. Except for this one, we may lose it to Nomads. Now, if Nomads are wise, they'll take this power action for money, and then with all the money, they'll use their free terraform from the Stronghold, probably cutting this tile away, and then they'll build a dwelling on top of it. That's absolutely what I expect to see here. Okay, a little crazy. So we just saw Nomads use their Stronghold here to take this space. Actually, no, that makes sense now that I think about it. It's, he, he doesn't screw us irreparably if he tries to cut away spaces that we want here. But if for some reason this gets taken from him, it's annoying for him to build a town over here using a bridge, but I guess the worry is the Darklings could come down here and wrap these 3 spaces. These are both single terraforms for them, and they have the terraforms. They have 3 priests in hand. And so, they could have taken both of those, and then the Darklings would force them to bridge for the town, which is really annoying. So they want to take this, not so much because they're worried about losing this space, but because they're worried about losing access to both of these before they can get them. That probably means they're using their sandstorm over here this turn too. So they really need that to not get cut off, and even if they let us have everything we want over here, we still don't block them. Right? We're just happy to coexist, take what we want, and they'll just come on through in the middle down the end. So now the race is very much on. Darklings terraforming there. Nomads will feel severe pressure to cut this space as their next move, and that's pretty cool. We don't have enough power to take a fancy power action. We do desire to invest a priest here in the water cult, but that option isn't going away at all. Engineers still have no temples, which is kind of insane. So I think we're just going to go ahead and build spaces before the nomads can do anything nefarious to us. Engineers have no ship upgrades, so we don't have to worry about losing that just yet. So let's just build some dwellings. Yeah, there's nothing else that exciting to do. If we build 3 this turn, 1, 2, 3, we still save a decent number to build over these rounds. And we get our income high enough to start doing fancier town constructions. I think, unfortunately, due to the slow start, we kind of have to build all those right now. We need to take some of these before the nomads can expend their sandstorm to cut us on the round after. Another advantage of building this one right this very moment is that the nomads will become power capped. They can't even accept all this power. So we sort of save on donating over 1 power that was going to have to go at some point. Okay, so once we've got these spaces on lockdown, the question becomes, well, what even is... Oh, okay, that's a hefty power donation, and we are happy to take it. We're just stocking up power so we can take more dig actions. We need this a little bit less than it usually needs to get spammed by mermaids, courtesy of our wonderful Fire 1 favor. Hey there, goddamn BF. Nice to see you back again. Dig, Priest, Pass, Act 4. We definitely could entertain that idea. That's worth, storing up to build the dwellings next round is worth a lot of points. But we needed to build some dwellings this round just to optimize it. Illusion, play nice. I have some chat rules below. You all can read as you wish to. Don't be hassling each other. Okay, so options for digging. Let's see. Next round, we would take 4 workers, and we would be able to build 6 dwellings if we had space for all that. So we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if we procured another dig through power actions. That is a pretty crazily high number. I guess we could use the priest to dig. That seems undesirable, given that we can swap a priest out to gain another priest back and take 2 money along with it. So I'm not enamored with digging with the priest right now. But we can definitely entertain the idea of not building all of our dwellings right now, just to get more points on rounds 4 and 5. Grab a Water 1 favor next round. Yeah, I am very interested in a Water 1 favor. I would have loved to have it this round, but that's not looking like it's in the cards. So what's actually high priority for us? I think none of our actions that we can take are high priority. And since I've already asserted I'm not using the priest to dig, we can kind of wait and see what power we might receive. Passing first to ensure Act 4. I agree that Fast Pass is very desirable for us here. But I still need to get this priest invested before I do. That's the most critical thing that has to happen this round. Sorry, well the other is I have to make use of my bonus tile. So, Act 4, for those of you in chat who are unfamiliar, is Snellman's slang for this particular power action, redeeming 4 power for 7 money. Is a favorite of most races. It's probably, in the abstract, the strongest of these power actions. We need to lean on it less strongly than usual, thanks to our wonderful Fire 1 favor that we took first thing. Since I have to take another action anyway, I'm inclined to go ahead and build one more dwelling this round. Since it doesn't speed up our pass any, and that way we do take one more worker, is some compensation for 2 less points. So I think I will build one more and then hold off on the other. The idea on holding off being exactly that it scores more points to build dwellings in the round after. Yeah, I don't have to push the dwellings super hard, so I can look to procure a temple for the Water 1 favor in the next round. This is true. I do have some time. Okay, Nomads have gone and dug this site, and they've done that via shipping across here. The Nomads have gotten themselves in some trouble because the Darklings were let to cut them off here. So we're pretty happy about that. It looks like the Darklings in this configuration are going to get to score up 2 towns on this island. Maybe the Engineers will cut that spot, so it's hard for them to connect it. Who knows? But now we've acquired a new priority spot because we really, really want this so that we have our 3 places for a town here. It's super important that we get that because the Nomads, they still have their free terraform power, and they're absolutely going to want to terraform this right now, and then they can build across both of these. Yeah, letting Darklings out south is huge, I agree. Kind of annoying that they did that because they had a lot of time for it. But they've kept their terraform up, and, you know, this is where I think they would use it, so we need to do it now. You know, we did need to build a dwelling somewhere, and thankfully we have been tipped off not to fear losing this one because, strangely, Nomads have gone this way. So we're going to go ahead and lock this down before they can mess with us. Also gives us access to building a dwelling here in the Dwelling Rush segment of this next. Alright, Engineers taking 2 favors, so one of the Water 1s has disappeared. The setup seems favorable. I would sort of agree, except I think we're just kind of a little light on resources across the board. We could... I don't know. We could definitely have played this a little better from the first turn, goddamn BF. Just because that way I missed out on a chance to have 2 more dwellings down on the first turn by taking a stupid gambit that gave me a possibility of even more value. See, I don't want to hug the spotlight too much here though, so Illusion, I have to ask you, how's your game going? I know you lost a critical hex. Are you managing to recover? Horrible. Oh, sorry to hear that. Just make sure you beat someone, okay? That's the mission. Don't get last. Okay, Nomads have to use their terraform somewhere. I would imagine it probably comes down here. They can look to cut us away there. There is some worry. We do need to... We can't dawdle on digging this. We could lose it. I mean, we could also lose this hex, but it wouldn't matter too much because we could take this as our 3rd hex. So we're... The thing that would set us back about losing this is then it would take more than 3 shipping to connect our network size. So, how do we want to proceed here? We had postulated pass might be good, just because we're certainly not double digging here, and we don't have, we could build a dwelling to get 1 more income of dwellings. Maybe that's actually okay. But will we lose first shot at this power action? That's very relevant to us. I think goddamn BF's line holds a lot of appeal where we can wait to spam the dwellings till round 5 and just kind of get infrastructure upgraded in the meanwhile. Because we know we're going to need more upgraded buildings in order to make these towns. So since we can do that, we can take some dwellings back off of the board on the next round. We could build it here, assuming people aren't going to pass on us early. Now, the engineer player is actually liable to upgrade a 3rd temple to score for the round. Or maybe do something else. People have a lot of resources in general, and the Nomads have the capacity to build this space and to use their terraform. The Darklings have tons of things, so I do think it is safe for us to take another action here. So I'm going to go ahead and snipe away this spot. Now everyone should be taking an action before us, and that'll let us open on this for the next turn. And then next turn all we'll be doing is upgrading some stuff. We'll dig this if we are let to. We would love to dig this space before it disappears to Nomads. Still not an overly... they haven't even taken this one yet, so it's inconclusive that we might be under threat here, but it pays to stay mindful. You have an imager link for us to see how bad. Oh, well, you're welcome to post that. I'm not going to be a link Nazi. It is a nicety that we are ahead on points also. Having a good setup for our town founding is one thing here. Because we do have a more promising setup for scoring 3 towns than anybody else does in this spot. Which is not to say that no one else will do it, but other people are going to have to work at that. Most of them are set up for a pretty straightforward 2. So, 4 towns? I think that's pretty insane, goddamn BF. We could have entertained that idea if I had not, taken this crazy gambit on turn 1 and tried to pass and hope I could get a double dig coming back. I really shouldn't have done it, because if I mathed it out, it was like... The dark... It was a little bit to see it coming, that I was going to lose access to a single dig as backup. In losing access to that single dig required a bunch to go wrong. The Darklings would have had to take this power action when they can't even use the second worker, which in turn screws the Nomads into not desiring the stronghold line, and so all of a sudden they're more interested in spades than the workers because they can't get the workers, which in turn causes this to not be available for me. It was sort of an unfortunate chain, but if I had thought about that long enough, that was something I could have foreseen. I'm not going to go pretending like this is some wild case of no one could have predicted it. No, it's not like that. I could have predicted it if I'd thought a little harder, and I think I had the wrong end of this gamble, because the payoffs were weighted so poorly against me. Alright, what did we get from engineers? Water 2. Okay. So one nice thing about playing against Water 2 is you will virtually always get to go before that player. It's pretty unthinkable that they ever get to go ahead of anyone again, because this is just an extra action they need to resolve every round. So helps us a little when it comes to grabbing these 3 power actions, which we are pretty interested in. Yep, goddamn BF, I am with you. We are sticking to 3 towns. Oh, yeah, I don't mind if I do take that power. We're sticking to 3 towns with some safe points from our bonus cards, and it's gonna be wonderful. Alright, did they use their stronghold terraform for that? They did. And they lack the power to do any further digging. So we do have to be worried that this will disappear, because now that engineers took this tile, it's actually a disaster if the Nomads get to terraform this one. And if you look at forming a town here, they naturally want this because it's a single dig. They don't really care where the other one comes from. It'll come by stronghold terraform. So we need to take this pronto in the next round. But that's okay. We do have a timing window to make it happen. So we'll go ahead and pass here. And we can sign ourselves up for more points. Something working in our favor, I'm pointing this out for goddamn BF. And anyone else who's interested. There are only 2 bonus tiles available that score points for people, and they are the 2 hard ones for most factions to use, but fortunately one of them is super easy for us to use. So we're just raking in way more points off of these than anyone else gets to. I think as much as I desire this action, it's unfortunate that my first action of the next turn really does need to be cutting this spot away. I just cannot afford to let the Nomads terraform here. It will put me in an incredibly bad fix. I don't need it. I beg to differ. How am I going to... I suppose it's possible to form a town like this and a town over here for my 3. Take the black. Are you referring to this hex right here? Middle black. Yes, I could take this hex, but I can't utilize this as a component of a town if I take these 2. Except, oh, that's not true. Actually, I can. I'll still just have to build the coral reef in here, which is a thing that I had to do regardless. And this gives us... Yes, okay, actually, this is wonderful. Thank you for pointing that out. Definitely a mistake on my part to miss it. Okay. So I guess, yeah, I guess suppose we're not overly worried about that. Yes, I can't afford to lose both, but I'm not worried about losing both. And the reason I'm not worried about losing both is that these are both double terraforms for the nomads, and they only have one sandstorm to cut one of them. I don't think, actually, if the nomads went ahead and took a double dig action, they could dig one and then use sandstorm terraform on the other, and that could be a problem. And it wouldn't be unreasonable because the nomads, well, if they did their digging, they would probably want to dig here and here first. But they would look to those afterwards, so that could be, it could be dicey. Alright, how many workers are we going to get coming in? We are going to be sitting at 6 workers and 7 money for the next, 9 money from this cult reward. Okay, so 6 and 9. How do we want to make this work? So, one thing we could entertain is 6 workers is a very good number for building our stronghold. And the reason that this is a semi-reasonable stronghold timing is just that we're on the card that will score extra points for having our shipping upgraded. Yeah, Stronghold instead of Water 1. I do think missing the Water 1 is going to be worth too many points, though. It's probably more in our interest to build a temple and take Water 1 plus a trading post. So, if we do that, then we're going to be paying out a total of 11 coins. That's a little less than we have, but, you know, we can take this power action. And that should square us off a bit. We can... There are also going to be 2 priests in play, and we have the option to use those as workers. It's not super thrilling, but we could think about it. Putting a dwelling on the southeast blue will score me at least 5 free power. Is the southeast blue is surely referring to this one here. Unless you mean that one. You mean digging here and then taking... No? Below the engineers. Okay, so this one here. Yeah, that is liable to score me a good amount of power, if I want to go ahead and reach down there. Okay, I could build a stronghold and then build 2 dwellings. So there is a little bit of worry that I need a total of 4 digs for the remainder of the game. 4 digs is kind of a lot. I have to dig here, here, either one of these. Here, one of these 2, and then I need to place the coral reef in here somewhere. So, it's going to be very troublesome to do all that without taking a pass at the double dig. So there's a safer line here where I just get the dwellings out now and then get the temple out on the next turn. Yes, there's also the coin temple advanced shipping line. Advancing shipping, it may be good just because we're on the bonus card for it. So it should let us score 3 more points twice. It's okay to take this now as long as I can have enough power to fire off a double dig on the next turn. Will I have that power is more of a worry. So where would I want to put it? Let's see, nomads are... There's reasonable odds of them coming in here. I don't... Unless the engineers come to this tile, I don't foresee them really granting a lot of power. And we're only going to get the one income off of a trading post at Round's End. I don't know, we really do need quite a lot of coins to make all this pan out. How do other people stand for coins? Will they be in trouble if I cut this action away? So it's annoying for the engineers, but not the... This is really something of a difficult call. I like racing to the... Yeah, we'll go ahead and grab this. We'll grab this and see what happens. We know we're going to need the money at some point. Those coins will not go to waste. And I think... Yeah, there's a lot of niceness in procuring a water 1 before the water 1s are gone. And taking a water 1 is worth 2 power thanks to this wonderful threshold here. We could even get 2 more power by advancing the priest, so that really does start to move us back to a situation where we can take dig power actions at the start of the next turn. Neuron Collider, sometimes you have to get greedy to win at Euro games. Right, there's definitely I am in a good position now, but I am not in such a commanding position that I can just take safe lines for getting the 3 towns and have everything go trivially as a win for me. Like, there is the very large problem that at endgame scoring time, I'm going to do very poorly on the cults. Okay, nomads have used their terraforming action. Sorry, the stronghold terraform to be specific. They did cut this away, so now it is critical that we get that hex. So, I don't know if there's a way for us to do that this round, but if we don't, it needs to be the first action of next round after passing. Nomads won't gain power to double dig and take this away. Even if they did have a double dig, they would probably want these 2 tiles. So it's alright. Now, what are we doing? Probably we want to race to this water 1 favor while it still exists for us to take. So where do we want to upgrade? Not next to the trading camp if we can help it. That does too much, that's too nice for the nomads. So we could take this one or this one. Yes, I could use a 3-worker dig. That is a possibility. I'm not very enamored with that. I do think if we're taking this, I think we do want to be safer going on the temple. We really don't want to lose access to this. Yes, I am aware if I grant double spade to the nomads, they will probably take it. That's why I'm looking, I think, to upgrade this one. It does not quite give them enough power to make the move. So we'll wait and see what they do here. I will dig and take this if I have to, if they're still sitting on a power threshold that's too scary. I can dig through brown in the southwest. So digging through brown isn't the line I would take, actually. There's actually, rather than digging through brown, I think the way to found this town, if I lose this, is to dig this swamp tile. Because then I can still form 4. The issue with that is that this town becomes very low in neighbors, so the stronghold has to fall here. Yeah, I would need a stronghold, and I would need it here, and then I could have a coral reef dwelling. I would need to upgrade a trading camp the hard way. Yep, expensive trading posts suck. I agree. Yeah, I could dig through brown if I have to. We'll wait and see how this goes. The nomads... Okay, the nomads have advanced shipping. So actually, if the nomads are advancing shipping, they're just advancing to 1. But that means they can come here now, and they can come here. So we may actually wind up having neighbors in, a neighbor down here, and then not need to build an expensive trading post. I think with the likelihood we do get a dwelling here, I'm just getting less and less worried about this tile. Yep. The blue is gone there, but I think you're not necessarily registering the limit on how many dwellings I have. Like, I still have a lot of dwellings to place, and I'm not going to get enough resources over the course of the game to actually get all this down. So I was not overly worried about getting this cut away. Like, it would have been nice to have something there, but I don't... You know, you don't want to be stuck in a situation where you have to upgrade a trading post elsewhere to build the next dwelling over here for the... Okay, double dig, gone. Engineers have taken it away. And actually we may get a wonk of power if they're about to build here. So now, since the nomads can't double dig this anymore, I think it's safe for us to not worry about it. So let's go ahead and grab the temple and secure a water 1 favor. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Mermaids and Darklings 1st and 2nd. That's a prediction. Are the Darklings doing so terribly well? I'm not necessarily certain they are. They're doing okay. I guess they are going to score a lot of points building dwellings right now. That is worth something in and of itself. Illusion, I try for you. I promised you on the previous Mermaids game that I would win it just for you, because I don't want to lose with your favorite faction, but I do not feel confident to make that promise this game. This game is not such a stomp that I can just prematurely tell you. Alright, so we are starting to come under increasing fire on some of these spots. I think actually we're going to end out the round just building 2 dwellings because we just want those worker incomes. Oh goodness, nomads coming up here. Okay, well they've already used their their stronghold terraform, so they're not going to hit this spot. No worry of that, because this is a triple terraform for them otherwise. Of course I will. Way ahead of you on that, BF. Absolutely have to leech the construction here or any upgrades. So since I'm ending on building 2... okay, that's a giant wonk of power. Alright, we're looking good to get our double dig on the next turn. Let's go ahead and get this spot built up. And then we will also take this spot, and if we want, we have the option to end with a shipping upgrade. The risk in upgrading shipping is twofold. So one is we might need the money for next round, and then and whereas we don't need to upgrade shipping at all for connection's sake, as long as we get this hex. And then risk number 2 is that we do want to be relatively certain we can go first and poach this double dig next round. That's quite important. So, uncertain whether we want to make that shipping upgrade now or not, but we have time to think about it. Oof, Darklings are getting 6 points every time they terraform and build a dwelling, and they can still do it 2 more times. That is a lot of points. We'll still be passing out for the round ahead of them in points, though. And that's after their biggest point burst that they're going to get for the whole game. Okay, so things we want to do. I think we want to be taking this worker income and also just score it while we can. Or is there a risk of people passing before us? It seems not very likely, given everything the nomads have access to. There's also the option of investing the priest just to close off on the water cult and become reasonably likely to win it, or at least take second. This is definitely the cult we'd contend in, especially since it gives us power to do it. So that's something we can entertain, but we know we're gonna want this, so let's go ahead and grab it. We unfortunately don't have any power income, just because we haven't built any trading posts or strongholds yet. This Fire 1 favor has been doing so much work for us, and will continue to. We still have 2 rounds of its income left. We've only taken 60% of its effect. This is not even its final form. So losing this hex is annoying because if we lose this to engineers, all of a sudden connection is really annoying. It would require us to take like this space to connect on 3 shipping. And we could do it, but that's an extra spade we have to come up with somehow, and that's annoying. Which bonus card will we be interested in if we pass? We could pass onto this one just for a worker and a coin and maybe some points. It seems plausible we would be passing on a trading post at the end of round 5, finally. But we may just be interested in the cult bump plus 5 money, actually. Or 6 money if that card is vacated by the engineers, or if the nomads vacate first, we can get the free spade, which is also very good. Coins! You want coins. Yeah, there's a lot of appeal in coins. Hard to... can't deny that. Yes, clearly the spade is the number 1 preferential thing that I can do with my bonus card. This may be so true as things stand that I could entertain, being slow seems maybe okay. Given that I'm going to, if I get the spade, then that also works for founding this town via whatever means. I just don't want to lose out on the double dig to nomads passing first. Okay, well, nomads finally spent their power, so actually now there's not even a fear of the double dig. Darklings can never take it. They don't have enough power left in their cycle. Engineers will procure 6 power income. That is not enough to give them access to the double dig. And nomads are light years from it. So, we don't have a super pressing need to be first in the next round, so we can take more actions. Yes, I agree. Nomads suddenly not interested in center black. They would rather terraform these, because that's how they're gonna have their natural 3-town formation. So, what do we want to do? We have, 2 choices for how to spend this priest. We can either upgrade our shipping, which should be worth, that's worth, I guess, a marginal 4 points, because we are going to get a stronghold at some point. So that's gonna, that's the marginal amount that it'll go up. 4 plus an extra, plus 3 for this card, plus another 3 on this card when we take it again in round 6. So 10 points to upgrade shipping here is, that is a deal, to say the least. Means I can't afford to take the TP passing tile. I would agree. I'm not super worried about the trading post scoring tile on pass, though. Again, as you point out, I think the monetary ones and the spade are much more interesting to us. Correct. Of the 10 points, 7 of them are, like, belated. They come later. But, if I don't upgrade shipping here, I'm probably never upgrading it again. So I do actually think it evens out to 10 points. The alternative is wedging a priest in here, and then we gain some power. Nomads don't have the ability to build another dwelling, so they're probably not coming here just yet, even though that's likely to happen in the next round. So we are going to want the power we can get for burning as few of these tokens as possible. Actually, we need the 2 power to take our double dig, do we not? So 4 in here, 4 in... Yes, yeah, we do. So given that we're not receiving any more this turn, I think we have to make it this, because we can't afford to be missing on double dig actions. So, up you go. Woo! No conversions for me. Nobody else can afford it either, that's true. Yes. Actually, since no one else can afford it, I guess I could have been slow to take the double dig. Crumb. And I had produced that analysis earlier. Okay, well, we're just gonna have to hope that the money winds up being useful to us then, because that's the only way to justify this line that we took. And it probably will, in part. So we can get both of these. That'll be very, very helpful. Then, after we procure these, we'll only be looking at 2 more spades. One can come in either of these spots, and the other is the coral reef. Okay, nomads have passed first. And will their spade be eaten away before we get a shot at it? Let's find out. Yes, spade! For those in the audience who may be unaware, this bonus tile that gives you a spade and 2 coins is, it is right to take it a surprisingly high fraction of the time whenever you can take it. This is true pretty universally. Really, the only factions that are less interested in this are, like, in the second half of the game, halflings and alchemists, who will have upgraded digs. This becomes much lower value for them, and the darklings, it's lower value from the get-go because they can contend with priests just as well. Yes, giants. Goddamn BF points out the giants have no interest in a single spade. This card for them is just 2 coins because they can only use spades in even increments. That said, what I said is still correct because no one plays giants. Why would you play giants? So the Darklings are looking in pretty good shape. They can definitely form their triple town. Things have shaped up well to enable that for them. Nomads will also be able to do a triple town. But, one up here, one in here, and one over here. But them doing this is, well, they're just not going to have quite as many points as the Darklings when it happens. And also, I believe they're going to need to expend considerable effort to connect their network. Or actually, I guess they can just get 2 shipping and then take this slot. And that's what they'll be doing. It's the engineers who are going to have a hell of a time connecting their network. Okay, Darklings have passed onto this coin card. Also not interested in the spade. As I called out, Darklings have a little less need for those. Their priests work just as well, even a little better because they get points that way. So now, are we going to see a pass out of the engineers? The engineers would surely pass onto the spade card, I would think. It would be shocking if it weren't the case. But maybe they won't pass here. They may choose to invest their priest in a cult. And in fact, them taking the last water slot before I can guarantee winning that cult may look somewhat appealing to them. That is an existing threat against them. And sure enough, they do take the slot. So that makes winning this cult much harder, but it also means we get our precious spade. So yes, I will definitely pass. Now I'm actually pretty happy about having the banked money, because, we're only going to be on 9 coins here. 9 coins, 7 workers, and we have a good amount to do. Because we're gonna get 3 digs in this round. Illusion, congrats! That means you are a winner. You won against somebody. The next question is, did you get 2nd place? Because if you got 2nd place, then, well, that means you were sort of the champion loser. King of the losers. No one lost ahead of you. I can believe it, Illusion. That kind of stuff can definitely make a big difference. I guess, as goddamn BF has pointed out, it would have been huge game if the Nomads had sandstormed here. Just to prevent the Darkling, or even here, just to prevent the Darklings escaping this continent here. They would have been at a loss to form 3 towns, almost certainly. So yeah, 1 critical space can make all the difference. Yep, that's a lot of effects. Sorry that happened to you. Okay, so actually the engineers have advanced enough to get access to the double dig, so we'll want to be taking that away. Okay, Nomad's moving up on fire. A little mystifying to me that was such a priority in their eyes. I guess if they can't contend for any of the power actions anyway, it makes sense. We have a ton of priests right now. Hard to say what we're gonna do with all of them. I would like to secure this last spot just to try and get a really cheap second place on the fire cult. But I do not think that is an option for us, unfortunately, because we do not want to be losing this double dig. We need our double dig, and engineers can take it right behind us. Especially worrisome is that, like, engineers, they're running out of places to go. So this slot is gonna be under some fire. I don't know. Well, whatever. Do the thing, silly game. Okay. Double dig. I would like, let's see, Nomads still have their Sandstorm, and they could choose to be especially mean and screw me here. Double dig the 2 forests. I agree, that is what I would do as engineers. They still can double dig 2 forests here and here. I think we're gonna get this slot, and we're also gonna get this slot. And I'm actually gonna build on this one first, because the Nomads, like, it's not... If they use their stronghold here, that is really costly for me. Whereas engineers have to go very far out of their way to mess with this, like really far, whereas it's pretty easy for the Nomads. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be tempting them. So dwelling goes right here. No, temptations avoided. Okay, engineers took the money power action. Not too surprising. That is what I would do in their shoes. That means that we're in the clear to build this one. And then we have all the slots that were critical to us secured. Outside of, we will still require 2 digs, but we still have this handy spade in our back pocket. So we're gonna need to upgrade a trading post to place a dwelling on one of these when we spade it. And where do we want to upgrade that trading post? Probably really we could do it on either of these towns. We cannot upgrade this one, or else it will become 7 level worth of buildings and form the town around prematurely. Am I going on a tempo war with the engineers? I'm a little uncertain what exactly that means. I don't think so. I don't think we're in any kind of huge race to fight things. He has the shipping bonus tile. Yes. I may want to outlast him. I see. Okay, so that's the point being made. Yep. He has the bonus tile that I want. I would have figured that out soon enough, but I should have been a little quicker on the uptake. Honestly, this tile is going to be about as good as this one for us next round, because we did not go the maxing out shipping, but it's nice to give ourselves the 2 options. So what do we want to do here? I think there's no temptation, no worry that the engineers will cut this away from us. They lack the resources to really do that in any meaningful sense. They can't use the power action. So I think rather than building here, what I'm interested in doing is throwing a priest in the fire cult to hopefully give us a shot at winning an easy second place on it. It will certainly win at least 3rd. With just the 1 priest invested, that's not a bad deal. We're not going to get this 4 power, but whatever, who cares? Priest, here you go. We will take this before anyone else can do something like that. I would agree with you. I probably won't get it. There's going to be fierce contest for both of those bonus tiles, but we'll just be mindful of how many actions other people look like they have left in them, and we'll see. Next place to invest priests would be the Earth Cult. Just because we move into a position that threatens first, maybe, sort of, kind of, not really. And we also leap past the Darklings and just give ourselves more margin against the Engineers. Let's think about what we want to do here. We know we're building a dwelling. And another dwelling. And we need to upgrade a trading post to make that happen. That's all of our money. All our money spoken for. That's 4 of our workers spoken for. Top forest next to the mountain. Yes. I am aware that is the higher priority spot. And actually, the Engineers have secured 2 shipping already. Is it even that worth it to try and cut the Engineers? Like, the Engineers are doing poorly in points, and they're also just not going to connect their network at all. I guess they can make a double dig here if they really wanted to try and link it up. So I don't know that we have to take things in a suboptimal order for ourselves just to try and hurt the Engineers. I'm not super certain that that's, like, critical, but I guess it is nice to give some margin. Leeching 1 power, yes. Okay, leeching 1 power, definitely worthwhile. Also, it may force him into spending his resources more for upgrading than for expanding if he loses access to as many spots to go. And if he chooses to upgrade things, that has good chances to toss us some power. So I don't need to race on any of the cult slots now that this critical one is secure. I don't have any power actions to take, so it's really just down to upgrade trading post and build 2 dwellings, not necessarily in that order. Engineers, I don't think they're taking this just yet. They do have the shipping to get there, but digging it is very costly. They would have to dig it the hard way, even if I grant them 1 power by building here. Up shipping again and build next turn? Is that right? Yes, they will. They're on the shipping bonus card. Yeah, okay, you make a compelling case, sir. I believe you. Okay. Well then, on that note, let's make use of this. Now, right now, well, do we even have to? They'll upgrade shipping again, and then they'll come after. I guess that means that I can't build here, because then I would be upgrading trading post next. So yeah, I'll go ahead and terraform this. Up we go. And just in case they had designs on coming in this way, now we've been extra annoying about it. So we need to upgrade a trading post somewhere that isn't, well, I guess we can't upgrade in this segment yet. So any of these, and then we'll build this dwelling, and then we have priests to throw at these slots, or not. We could wait on throwing the priests in, if past timing gives us a point scoring card. It's possible that we may also consider getting a Fire 2 favor on the last turn. You know, just upgrade a trading post into a temple, and that saves us a TP upgrade here, and then also is worth 1 power in the other 2. And it's about the same cost as the TP upgrade, so like, we're retaining the optionality, for sure, to go into Fire 2 on the next turn if we need it. Nomads, have they used their terraform? Yes, they used their sandstorm terraform here. Okay. That means their last one is earmarked for one of these spots, for sure. Because these are, I guess they can, oh, the brown is a single dig for them. Never mind. Okay, so they're not guaranteed to have to sandstorm or anything. Nomads are closing the earth slot. That does put extra pressure on us to wedge a priest in earth now if we're going to do it. Okay. There was another shipping upgrade by the engineers, so now we can be quite assured that they're going to jump over here because now's when they score on dwellings. So we can take the 1 power without spending any points, which is super cool. We love it. And we only need 1 spade for the rest of the game just to place this coral reef right in, well, either of these two works. We'll take this one because we don't want to do it next to the trading camp for nomads. I may be able to snatch the TP bonus tile. Yeah. I mean, as I had said, once I do the critical, get it down a trading post, and then build the last dwelling, I'm in nice enough shape just by virtue of, like, nothing else I have to do for the turn is critical, so I have some flexibility about when I pass, and that's worth a lot. You know, could hopefully get us a faster pass. We are going to have a lot of interest in this 7 coin action on the next turn. I don't know that we'll get it. Okay. Sorry, oh, the Darklings used their bonus card to advance on Earth. That makes a lot of sense. Now it's less attractive for us to jump on these. We can still look to it, but I don't know that it's the max #1 priority. Back with a snack. Good call. I hope it's a tasty one. I have to figure out where to put my trading camp. I think the spot I'm interested, probably, maybe, There's some appeal to not upgrading this just so that I can try to leech power without expending points here. You don't think I'll manage to get 3 towns without fire too? Well, that's why I was planning on fire too, silly. And I can even survive on just 2 shipping because I got both of these, so now my network is connected. I don't have to build a stronghold. The question is just where I put the trading post. There's perhaps some reason to doing it here. Like, we want to be able to take power as cheaply as it can come. So leaving this as a single dwelling can, yes, agreed. Yeah, we want to leave this as a single dwelling so that we don't have to pay any points for our power in this region. So, yep, let's go ahead and grab this one. And then we'll see how much the nomads want to pay out point-wise. Pretty cool to have our water one working for us. Alright, next action, definitely building here. Unless the engineers take one of these slots, then there's heavy incentive for me to take the last one. Alright, engineers move. Presumably they're looking at this slot, and we can take 1 power out of that. And there it goes. Oof, okay, that's a load of power if we want it. Do we want it? So if we click accept, then we could be on 5 in this bowl and 1 in the top bowl for the next round. And that does mean that if we are first to pass, we'll have first shot at this power action, which we're you know, it would be super nice if we could take this. So there's some pretty heavy incentives to clicking accept here. Even if we don't get this power action, that still means that we get to we can just use this as like a coin and a half. We already have the extra half power, so it's kind of like taking 2 coins for 2 points. I haven't done the math, and don't have time to do the math now, but intuition suggests that this is probably good. Even if I'm not let to take this action, it can grant me the single spade action to place my coral reef. Priest on red gives another 4p. Another, yes. Spending a priest here does grant 4 power. Darn it, my chat's just so much smarter than I am this game. I'm missing some of these right and left. Yeah, so I should priest here just to bump my marker by 1. Or at least I probably should have declined that power and done that. Now this is a little trickier. It may just wind up being extra coins, as I said. 2 points for 2 coins is not an unlikely turn of events. I can definitely consider blowing a priest that way. No one's founded any towns yet because we're all saving up for this. So it's also worth remembering there's going to be a lot of whooshing up on cults as people take these as they're able. We're probably not super able because we have work to do just to get our 3 towns into place. So there is some crazy world actually where an interesting thing is accepting the power just now has enabled that I actually can make enough coins out of my power bowls to make another trading post this turn. And that gives me slightly more money for the next. That may be worth thinking about. Okay. Still no incentive to jump on these, so we'll just go ahead and take this before it goes anywhere. Also, still no one clearing off of our point passing bonus cards. But yes, we can definitely make 3 money out of our power bowl and upgrade a trading post right now, which is not only more money for the next round, it just means we can get the towns that much faster. Where if we put a trading post in here, then upgrading this to a temple will cause instantly to form 2 towns, and that lets us get a leg up on taking the town tiles that we really want. Yes, Nomad's gonna buy a priest trying to steal the engineer's tile. I'm sorry, the Nomad's buying a priest is definitely a thing they can do. Which tile would they be looking to steal? To steal you mean to steal their bonus tile. Okay, we just got another free point of power courtesy of not upgrading this yet. Now this becomes a great upgrade because these may not actually upgrade further. Alright, so we can take 3 actions still. That definitely is outlasting some of these people, and I really am increasingly a fan of getting the trading post right now. Because we don't really need to save on power tokens. It's just making the extra money getting the extra power. We don't even get less workers out of the deal. So we can save some power tokens in our bowl if we expend a priest first thing. There's the troublesome detail that even though the engineer's pass card is one that we're very interested in, nomads have a first shot at it, and darklings before that. I think what we would like to do right now, I need to make a temple, 3 trading posts, and a spade to finish my town. Yes, 8 workers, 16 coins, and a spade. I think I will... I can get more power to make burning fewer power tokens here a thing. Like if I wanted to invest a worker on the earth cult, and then one on the fire cult. But that sort of plans on taking 3 actions in full to do that. So what's the best sequencing here? I think the most important thing is probably the power from the fire. That may well wind up mattering. Yes, so I'm gonna just go ahead and jack myself up 1 on fire. Because I don't want to miss on that or the trading post. I could easily miss on this and be okay. The reason we do it in this order is in case we take another point of power or something, it's just 1 less power token we have to burn out of our cycle. I am enjoying that the nomads have put themselves in some trouble here, where they can't upgrade a trading post without paying extra, given the layout they constructed this in. They probably wanted that space instead. But, I mean, they still have an easy way around it. The nomads can actually just, if they upgrade Sanctuary here and take Fire too, then all they need is a dwelling on one of these, and they have 3 towns immediately. So that's going to be a lot of town tiles vanishing really fast. To deny engineers a mountain? It may well have been... Yeah. I mean, it just sort of pushes them down a Fire 2 line. So that's someone else who's really looking hard at Fire 2, but a lot of people are going to be looking hard at Fire 2. The only player who really has no need for a Fire 2 is the engineers. Which bodes well for us getting it. Okay, so let's look at the count of resources we need for next turn. Burning Fury was kind enough to add it up for me. And I will have 8 income of workers, so that is squared away. What I need is the 14 coins and a spade. I will be able to get 7 coins from income, but I still need a spade and 7 more coins, and that's a little troublesome. I can make something work. I have town tiles to take. That should give me enough. Yes, exactly. One of them can come from the towns. Agreed. This stream has really gone quite a lot better than it looked like it might from the outset. Thanks for being patient, everyone who was present, and just sort of bearing with me as I took that 5-minute break to repair my internet network. Alright, do I want all this power? At a price of 2 points? Probably not. If I take it, I do have the option to get the spade right now. But if I get the spade right now, if I get the spade right now, then there is some worry that I don't get to gain the extra trading post resources, which seems very, very important. So it may just be that I decline this and get the trading post without burning quite as many power tokens. This is a hard one to add up. So I'm going to procure six power income for the next turn with these, and then also this. That's almost enough by itself to make this action fire. Building another trading post worth it. I strongly agree another trading post is worth it. I don't think there's any question on that. The question is just, do I want this power? Because I can build the trading post either way. It does not... Yes. Yep, I had... Not only had I mathed all this Burning Fury, I actually already said it out loud. Not slower than my chat about everything in this game. I think... My natural inclination is that accepting this is almost certainly worth more points in the town tiles I can choose. So I'm almost certainly offset the 2 points. I would be surprised if accepting this actually came back to bite me. So I'm gonna go ahead and take. Always good to apologize about these sorts of things. See if we can get a little bit of goodwill on it. Okay, so we have 2 possible actions left in this. And that's... The trading post is the more important of the 2 for sure. More important than expending the priest. So we're still waiting on a pass for one of those, so let's go ahead and give ourselves the trading post. And we'll put it in here so we can instantly form 2 towns when we make the temple upgrade. Okay, so how much time do... Let's see, the nomads probably have 0 moves left in them, which means that if we can, we may wind up passing here just to grab their bonus card. Because I think the trading post scoring is actually going to work out better for us than the shipping scoring anyway. What is this thing following my cursor around? Stop it. I don't want to send... Oh, I see. Okay. I did not realize BGA had functionality to ping spaces that way. That's pretty nifty. What is this, like League of Legends? Okay, Nomads do indeed pass. So they have the wanted bonus card. Darklings may just pass to grab their bonus card right away. If they don't, I think we do that. We could take another turn, but their bonus card is at least as good as the shipping one. No way in hell they don't. I agree. Yeah, the Darklings, yes. It would be a pretty fishy choice for the Darklings to choose to upgrade another trading post when they could get on one of these scoring cards. Your 5-day milestone, 5-day challenge of getting an insignificant milestone in chess is achieved. You know, insignificant milestones are insignificant as they may be, they're important stuff. Okay, yep, as predicted, pass, immediate pass by Darklings. So now we are trying to outlast the engineers, and we can attempt to do that by wedging in a priest on the Earth Cult. So let's make that effort. How much power will we be taking? So if we get their card, we're actually going to take in a whopping 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10 power from advancing on the Earth Cult right here. In we go. Oh, someone's asking for the link. Okay, engineers passed, so we did outlast them, and onto the shipping card we go, but we have to make sure we can take all this power, as stated. So we're getting 9 more power beyond what we have. We can only accept 7 of it. So we are going to fix that by converting a coin. And now we can take all 9 of it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Yeah, okay. Passing out, and grab this. Now, it's sort of an unfortunate thing that we are dumped into the last chair position off of that, but whatever. We can deal. Yes, your awesome detective skills. You guessed that my username was the same on both platforms, or you read my biography on Board Game Arena. Either way, definitely an awesome detective. Would hire you to figure out mysteries. Speaking of mysteries, we will be glad to have you here, goddamn BF, if ever we should run into an evil hamster again. Way too many mysteries for my liking when that happened. What are these people bickering about? Yeah, whatever. Doesn't especially matter. Okay, so what are we interested in doing? We have this weirdo option of using the double dig, which may be worthwhile from the standpoint of expanding our area, actually. But it does run the risk. We may have to use a priest as a worker. We know that we need to come up with more coins than we have. Right, we're looking for a temple upgrade and then 2 TP upgrades. And that costs a total of, that's 11 coins? I'm sorry, Burning Fury, you had counted it as, I think, 14 coins. Is that right? What am I missing when I count 11 right now? I only need 2 trading oh, you forgot the extra trading posts that I could do there. Or, not exactly forgot. I hadn't said that I would be doing that yet. Yeah, okay, so I have a surprising number of spare resources, which means Double Dig has some real appeal to it. Double Dig just lets me get one more for scoring areas. And that has a significant likelihood of mattering. We're probably losing to the Nomads on area, but we definitely want to try our best to take second. Yes, spare resources can be thrown away on the shipping cart, but we're unlikely to have that many of them if we make our counts carefully. Alright, so upgrade to Sanctuary by the Nomads as predicted. They'll grab 2 town tiles immediately if they grab this Fire 2 bonus, which I assume is coming here. Yep, Fire 2 was secured, so now 2 town tiles. They're not in great shape for the all-cult boost one, because they can't use it on fire, and it's unlikely to help in all the rest, given their huge disparities. So what have they taken? They secured 2 workers. Okay, that's fine. We're not overly pinched on workers. I mean, for that matter, we don't actually need that much more money either, but we'll still... Okay. What was their other take? Their other town tile of choice was 9 points and a priest. No shocker. 9 points and a priest is a surprisingly flexible, good, solid town tile. If ever you are not sure what to take, there are significant chances that 9 points and a priest will match up about the same as it's usually at least as good as 11 points, and you know, you can often make things work. Okay, with a double dig, I can spare 1 trading post and focus on shipping. Yes, I had noticed that already, actually, that I was gonna dig here plus build a coral reef. This is definitely the obvious thing to do. Let's see. Engineers are incapable of double digging. Nomads can double dig, but they don't really want to. They're, like, running out of places to put things. I guess they have a little desire. But they don't get the next crack at it. So we'll go ahead and make our double dig, because I am not worried about all these Fire 2 favors disappearing on us. The engineers really have no desire for a Fire 2. We should be able to secure that without effort. Yes, 11 points with a double shipping upgrade. Yeah, shipping upgrades, very solid here. That's for certain. So let's double dig while I can. I will change this tile. And then, and place this. Where do I want the coral reef? I think I want it not adjacent to the Nomads, who are looking like some of our more threatening competition, potentially? No, maybe not. Is it better to grant a power each to engineers and Nomads, or to give a coin to Nomads? And, let's see, almost certainly giving the coin to Nomads is not a worry. The engineers are probably in last place, I would guess. I think I'm gonna go ahead and place my coral reef on this tile. Yes, he does have a choice, but if his choices at least involve losing a point if I put it here. It can only be worse. That is not actually true. Yeah, because it's 2 for 1. It's not 1 for 0. I think it's still better to go here. So that's pretty nifty. Probably our next action since there's really no threat on this tile, is to upgrade a temple and take a Fire 2 favor. So we do need more coins than we have access to for the turn. But I'm not overly worried about that, because even if these coin tiles go away, these power ones will actually suffice as backup. These can effectively be used as 6 points and 4 coins instead of 5 and 6, just because 8 power can be 4 coins via the inefficient conversions. So really, not a huge fear of losing those. Extra money is nice, as Burning Fury points out, because upgrading shipping is worth a lot of points when we're sitting on this card. Like the first shipping upgrade is 6 points. That's a pretty good rate for coins, 4 coins and a priest. And then the next one is 7 points. We will not make it to 5 shipping though. Don't have to worry about that possibility, chat. It's not happening. Okay, Nomads use their stronghold power to transform it for free. Okay. Interesting decision. I would think if they were taking a free one, they might be interested in this, so that a single terraform can change that. We lost 11 points. That's okay. I don't think we were actually very desirous of an 11-point town tile, just because extra money converts to points at such an amazing rate when we're sitting on this card. Favor tile from the Darklings. They have secured Fire 2. Okay. Another reason we want Fire 2 now is also just beat Darklings on this cult. So Fire 2 is going to let them found only 1 town immediately. So they don't quite cut all these away from us. The plus shipping city tiles are basically the same. Well, they're not exactly the same, right? Like, we get... I guess we get to keep our priests out of the deal. But this is worth a point extra and comes with a few more coins on it. I think it's probably better to be expending, to be getting shipping through at least once through this. Surprised engineers aren't linking? Really? It's a lot of effort for engineers to link here. Or, no it's not, sorry. Engineer linking requires digging this tile only, and then they are linked. I somehow missed this one. Yep, yeah, so they'll surely be interested in doing that. If they don't, it's not super obvious it's going to disappear. I suppose the Darklings would, you know, they can throw these priests as terraforms anywhere really. They would probably choose to do it here. But we are waiting on bated breath to see if the engineers are mean enough to steal our last Fire 2, even though it doesn't help them. Exactly. Exactly, Fury. The Darklings want them to come here, so they'll wait on it. And in fact, the engineers, if the Darklings don't cut this away from them, they can just kind of wait and wait. And then they can jump in here, like, after the Darklings have already had to pay the inefficient price to upgrade things. But the Darklings can wait a long time. They can move on here for another town first. There's also, I guess the Darklings need to dig this tile to actually have their network connected, but that comes after they complete a town in here. Okay. TP upgrade. Good. We didn't lose fire too. Again, not that we were worried about it, but it was a thing. Alright, none of the high-scoring town tiles are left. They've all gone away. Good thing we convert the low-scoring ones into points so damn efficiently. Yes, annoyed Darkling. The Darklings surely wanted the extra priests so they could use their faction terraforming. Still no need to build this. Just because nomads have yet to spread here, so we're gonna go ahead and upgrade this trading post. Or actually this... No, nomads are power capped, so may as well do this one. Go Gadget Temple. And we will take this town tile, and then we can found some towns. Now, what do we want here? Okay, I don't think we have interest in getting a 2 bump on every town. That seems like not enough points. I think... do we have the option to exist on... I guess we could build another dwelling in this location at the end if we had more workers. Is that right? Oh, we're still gonna have plenty of workers for that. Because we only need to upgrade a trading post, build a dwelling, build a dwelling. That only costs 4, if I'm counting this right. Yes, okay, the money one's definitely more efficient than the power one. Trading post, dwelling. That's going to cost us, yes, 4 workers, so we will have 2 in reserve. How much money is that, though? That is a total of 7 money. And we need, okay, so actually if we take 2 copies of this, then we have procured probably enough for 2 shipping upgrades. I think we need at least 1 copy of this. Let's go ahead and drop that in while we're at it. And then we found another town. So with 2 workers and 2 coins remaining, that probably bodes well for an extra TP upgrade just because it's worth 3 points with our favorite. So 6 still seems like the best course of action, so I'm pretty happy to just buy those up. I need 7 coins, 3 yes, that is accurate. Or actually, yeah, okay. Yep, we'll put that right here. There's also a nicety into cutting both of the coin tiles right now, because it means that other people don't get to have them. So we're pretty happy about that. You know, just in case someone wanted it, now it's not an option anymore. Yeah, Illusion, we're definitely worried about our toilet paper upgrades. Like, you don't want the thing getting jammed on the roll. That's a disaster for everybody involved. Do they make toilet paper trades? Probably depends on which faction. I would imagine toilet paper is most easily produced in the... actually... They call it toilet paper, but does toilet paper actually use any material from trees? I very much doubt it. I would imagine it just uses, like, something more akin to a cotton fiber, right? Something that would grow on a plane? So perhaps the halflings are the great toilet paper salesmen. Unless you ascribe to the theory that this is not actually a plains and it's just poop, which makes even more sense that they would want their toilet paper trade. So, what towns are left for what people to found? The Nomads have no towns coming. The Engineers also no towns coming. But the Darklings still have 2. And we have 1. So hopefully that 1 can make up a bunch of this point difference. Okay, I could take this for a point. It seems unlikely that I want it, unless it somehow begets an extra shipping upgrade, but I was already planning to spend 7 coins building dwelling trading post, and that leaves 8 coins for 2 rounds of shipping upgrading. Unless... if I take this, then as long as I can procure 2 more power, that also enables another trading post upgrade for 3 points. This spends a point. I would need to get another 2 power offering for 1 point to actually come ahead on that. So, okay. What am I doing in that regard? I think... push for an equalizing with a 3-worker dig. Yeah, probably the 3-worker dig isn't worth it. That denies me shipping upgrades also, because I'm only going to come down to having 2 priests, 2 workers, 8 coins after I build the necessary structures. So that sounds very not worth it to me. The question is just, do I think I'm... no, I don't think I'm going to get offered it in a small enough increment, so I'm going to go ahead and decline this. Yeah, the only thing is if the Nomads built a dwelling here. I guess they could. They could upgrade a temple and then build a dwelling down there. I maybe should have been more cognizant of that fact. And then I would be scoring a single point better. 1. Okay. Engineers have won this cult. What do I want to do next? Probably take this tile. Is that even right? There's no fear that this will disappear on us. Yeah. Not worried about that tile, so we can just rest easy on that. Now, what town tile are we looking at? If we take this, it's effectively just the last shipping upgrade, so that's worth 8 points for the shipping. And that 8 points makes this effectively a 12-point tile. Yeah, seems like... okay. Burning Fury is coming to all of these conclusions at about the same time that I am, and yes, we both conclude this is far and away the highest value. So that one it will be. Yes, it is key to remember that while it looks like we're in a rough spot point-wise here, we are gonna sail ahead plus 15 points on our pass. That's a thing that the Engineers and Nomads, they're not getting anything on their pass. Darklings will though, so that's, you know, a little dicey. Mermaids gonna win. I try, Illusion. I try very hard. We have a quest, damn it. Yes, I agree. Engineers battling the Darklings on the air cult is extremely nice, and the reason that we like that is that Engineers should feel more pressure to try... or sorry, Darklings should feel more pressure to attempt to win on air than they should to try and secure second on either of these cults. just because the difference between a first and second in cult scoring is twice the size of the gap between second and third. So if Darklings are fighting back here, that's just less efforts that they can point at us on these tracks. Yes, there is also that effect that every priest the Darklings blow winning a cult is 2 points less and, 1 terraform less. And actually the terraforms are still very, very useful to them. They still want to terraform this tile, and they very well may wish to terraform something in here to gain a 5th spot. Okay, so we're gonna exit with 4 buildings left on our map. We know that loses to the nomads. But will that lose to anybody else? It seems like we're very far up on engineers. They can't terraform enough spots to do this. Okay, so engineers are continuing to pressure here along with Darklings. Darklings... Wait, how did the Darklings advance on the air track? They took the double key town tile. Okay. All of a sudden, this is hard for us to attack. Really, we don't have recourse to play in too many spots. We can break these ties against Darklings. Okay, where are we headed? I guess we're probably happy enough to offer up here a trading post and form this town and jack our shipping to the max. Yeah, you say strange choice, but I don't think so. These are all the low-scoring towns. So, usually the scoring town people want is 9 points and a priest, but those disappeared real fast. Up we go here. We're not doing this next to the trading camp. And we will upgrade our shipping. Here we go. Now the score's starting to look more equal. Really having a giant come from behind turn. Which is kind of impressive when you consider how many points everyone else gains on a final town scoring round. Okay, so we're locked in. We weren't going to try and compete on this cult, but it's nice the nomads have gone and blown one of their priests. Because now we can entertain the idea of throwing a priest down here to... No, we can't. We need to upgrade shipping. I lie. Upgrading shipping worth way too many points not to do at this juncture, so we will just accept our current placements. Starting to... Yes, I am aware, BF. I am very, very aware that we still have a lot of points coming. Whew. Okay. Darklings, they've advanced up on air. How did they do this? They advanced... Okay, they just sent their final priest in here. So, one less priest they can use. Excellent. And we secure our position as the worst cult scorer. Woohoo. Yep, worst cult scorer, and we're only going to take second place on area. The nomads are doing pretty well cult scoring, so we're really going to have to, as much as we have a lot of points coming in, we still need to be a little wary. We're very much relying on this large point cushion going into the final scoring. Still 8, is that right? This is what, 3-3-2? Yeah. 8 points from cults is not nothing, but it's definitely less than everyone else is picking up. $156 is a lot of points, but it's not enough points to guarantee your win. I have actually gotten 3rd place on a 155 before. Obviously, we could sit here and do the math if we wanted and know if we're winning. We're close enough to the end to just know how this plays out, but it's, well, that would be a lot of effort, to say the least. Okay, what do we want to do? Let's get down our dwelling. In it goes. Whoa! Servers... Go away, Airs. I don't want to read you. Yeah, 156 is pretty solid on this setup, just because of the bonus cards not offering tons and tons for people. You weren't here at the start of the game, BF, but would you believe that I got the Mermaids for 30 points this game? It was really incredible to take 30 at the start. It was, my recollection is that it was Darklings at 16, Engineers at 26, and Nomads and Mermaids both on 30. Yes, filthy. It felt like a pretty nice deal when I got it. This was very much a board where I identified that the Darklings were even better than they typically are. So I was happy to bid the Darklings super low, but when it didn't pan out and someone was more eager to take Nomads than Mermaids, whew, that's a relief. Yeah, the Fire 1 favor has been a low-key MVP for us all game long. No question there. Oraning some fools. Now, it's too bad you didn't have that on a stream. That Oran games are not your most common sight. I think, yeah. There was a lot of risk involved in taking this Fire 1 favor, because the way the chips fell, at the time that I took it, I was betting on the Nomads heading into a Stronghold on round 1, because round 1 actually scored for Strongholds, so they're usually pretty happy to do it then. So I thought it would be pretty easy for me to pick up both of these favors. Didn't happen. Nomads actually made the Temple start because the Darklings kind of forced their hand and got them into trouble. But the Engineers elected to not build any temples till round 3, where there was temple scoring, and they spammed all 3 of them in succession. So, you know, as much as I expected to get this, it wound up working out, and I got it anyway, despite the chance not coming through. Did not go for the patented Mermaid Stronghold opening. I would like to say to my stream chat right now, this patented Mermaid Stronghold opening, you're welcome to go ahead and check the replays on this channel. It is my most recent Engineers game, and you can see exactly how well the patented Mermaid Stronghold opening works out for goddamn BF, and make your own judgments. Okay, so where are we headed in here? Let's upgrade shipping. Yes, you did take 40 from bonus tile passing. You took an enormous number of points as the Mermaids on this card, and I'm not going to spoil what the outcome is for anyone who chooses to watch the game. But again, it's the Engineers game. On this channel, and you're welcome to watch the replay on that. It's a very interesting gambit. I sat down hard and thought after that match about opening on the Mermaid stronghold, and my conclusion, after lots and lots of thinking, was that there was no way this could ever hope to get you ahead economically, ever. But what it can do, even though it sets you back, is it can pay you off a lot of points, right? You can get paid off first 5 points if it's a round scoring for strongholds on turn 1, then an additional 4 with the bonus tile, which is probably the one you would want to take anyway if you're going to make the stronghold opening. So that's 9 points right there, but it secretly pays you even more than 9 points because you're going to be on a line to faster shipping for this card than you otherwise would be. So the question is it paying you enough points to offset that economic drawback? And it's a very interesting question. It's definitely an opening that's worth giving some thought to. Yes, and that game you were able to transition it between those two cards. Both of them were in the round. Yes, it does prevent you having to spend your opening power on spades as much, because if the mermaids get to 3 shipping, then all of a sudden they turn super cheaty face. They can go from here to here to here to here to here to here. So they can just start placing all their dwellings to get the econ rolling a little bit behind the blow, without having to spend on spades. So it really does have merits. But you definitely need to be getting paid points to make that opening work. I want to make that very clear to my viewers. You are getting paid points to have a slightly subpar start. Don't try this at home. I very much advocate the opposite. Anyone who really wants to learn Terra Mystica, absolutely try the crazy lines at home. Play against yourself and figure out how all these crazy openings work. This is very much a thing that improved my game, is just sitting down and playing the... I actually used the Snellman client because it allows you to play against yourself. And I battled against myself something like 25-30 games, only playing the first 2 rounds. And I learned a lot about how I need to plan and what I need to fear in setting myself up for the game to go. Okay, Nomad's checking out already. They will actually get a lot of points from unused resources. It's very much Burning Fury's assessment of his affairs, that he has tons and tons of resources and not enough to do with them. I'm sorry, Burning Fury. So for what it's worth, my Saturday streams started a much earlier hour, so you will not have to murder your sleep so much in order to watch me on a Saturday. I do begin stream usually as fast as I can getting off of work. So it's not going to be very reliable for me to try and move schedule forward. It would be excellent. It would definitely be excellent to be battling you again on stream sometime. You're actually the second of the channel viewers that has played against me on stream. And the first one actually just Q sniped me while I was at it. Interesting. Darklings have upgraded to 3 shipping. What is the rationale here? Why were they so keen on the shipping? So it does let them snap off a dwelling right here. Is that really the extent of this for them? Or is there more to this that I am not seeing? Because they're not going to manage to connect up here. It's not actually possible for them to connect this. If they come here, they still can't ship far enough to win any network points. So we are very safe to get second place in network. Grabbing what little points they can, but is upgrading shipping even worth enough points to them? They could take 3 more points just by getting one of these town tiles. I very much contest that that was actually their best option there. Meanwhile, we're sitting on this, so we would love to upgrade our shipping. Yep. Up it goes. Hey, corporate hobbyist. Welcome to the stream. They can connect via the water tile. What tile am I missing that enables that? Yes. Oh, yes, of course they can. They'll just dig this. I called that out a whole round ago. Unclear why I missed that. So then one wonders, why do they want the shipping? Because now they're not even coming out here. They've connected their network up. That lot of good it does them. I guess it lets them win 6 points on area against the engineers. So we don't have anything left to do. If there were a vacant water space, we could build a dwelling there if we had dwellings, but we don't have dwellings. And we don't have enough money to upgrade a trading post. So we can just pass here and take our 3 final resources for 1 point at end of game. Yeah, it's not a very large point gap, I agree, but I do think the Darklings had the capability to do a little more than they did with that town tile. Maybe not. I would have to go through and do the addition. Either way, we are clear to pass now. And passing up to 35. May it serve us well. We need it to. Alright, who's still playing at this? Engineers are playing. Do they have any moves that they can entertain? So they have enough resources to build a dwelling somewhere, but they certainly don't have the terraforming actions. If they pass in this position, they will take a single point at final scoring, because this 2 power impul 2 can be burned 1 and then converted to a coin. So they've got a point sitting here. Can they do better than a point? I would be extremely surprised if the answer were... Oh, actually... What favors are they looking at? So they have access to the trading post upgrade ones, but they have no trading posts to upgrade, which is why they can't do a little better. Alright, let's wait on bated breath and see how this scores out for us. It's very nerve-wracking to watch us gain so few points on the cults. Especially because we need to exit this leading the nomads by more than 6 points. Actually, even more than that, because they have a number of points they're racking in the final area scoring. So indeed, this is going to be a very, very tight game, I think, if I've counted this correctly. 18 for them there. We come to 155. Oh my goodness, is this even enough? We get 1 point in resources, and they take a full 3. Have we tied them? I believe we may have. Yes, we did. Wow. Okay. Wow. Whew. Very well played to all you opponents. That was a nerve-wracking game till the end. And now I feel a lot, a lot of resolve in being so unsure about who was winning that till the last moment, because as you can see, it was down to the wire, 156 point tie. Yes, should have bid down the blue and yellow factions. I would agree. It seems odd to me that the Mermaids were let to go at 30 points here. Certainly the big mistake on this, looking back, was definitely round 1. I'm very glad Burning Fury had not yet tuned in order to in order to see me make that faceplant. So yeah, could have been a stronger game from that perspective, but you know, we didn't lose to anyone, so ELO wise it still checks out pretty well on our quest, because we go ahead and well, let's see, actually, did we actually gain, I'm not sure how this computation is running. It looks like we somehow managed to lose ELO despite not losing to anyone. I mean, not on net ELO transfer, but the act of tying this player was subtracted points from this game. Anyhow, we're moving towards the 500, still going monotonically in the correct direction. And I thank all of you for watching. Yes, way higher, Deluxe. Nice to see you back again. So thanks to everyone who watched this, and I will be back again on Thursday evening. My stream schedule is listed if you scroll down underneath the channel, and I adhere to it fairly judiciously. So you can see me back the same time on Thursday. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.